I just want to hear from somebody who's been. Let me give you a mic. Just come up here and tell me how it has been. Just come. There are some stairs here. Come on, give it up for her as she comes up. You can do a better job than that. Just tell us your experience this time that you've been here from the day we started until today and yesterday at the gala dinner.
Okay, first and foremost, I did not go for the gala dinner, unfortunately, but I've seen the videos and I am experiencing FOMO right now. You know, I could see how awesome it was. You guys danced like crazy. Yes, so I'm Michelle Gasheri. I'm the marketing executive at Estec Limited. The expo has been really, really good, I must admit. I have learned a lot, more than I knew about the petroleum industry. That's the very first thing. And the sessions that we've been having here and the panelists, they have been really, really insightful and eye-opening. Both talking about petroleum, like the fuels, talking about like EVs and the rest. It has been really, really informative, I must admit. Even us as Estec, and we are in this industry because we supply analytical equipment for testing of petroleum products to ensure that the nation is able to meet the quality of fuel needed and also the standards, both local and international. And having all these guests from across the world also has been really good because it has also opened our eyes to other areas of investment. And even personally, by the way, when we talk about investments and the likes, you know, because I intend to be very great in this nation. So I've gotten a few investment opportunities here and there, which is awesome. So yeah, this was really, really good and well thought out. And the food is also very good.
Yes, I agree. The food has been incredibly good. But I have a question for you. So a few months back, we had somebody going around petrol stations and was collecting fuel samples and putting a small gadget there and saying this is RON 96 and this is RON this and that. And then, you know, it brought the whole country talking about the quality of petroleum. Is that the right way of testing whether fuel is good or not?
Okay, so when I talk about this, I definitely have to talk about Estec. So yes, there was that case where they went around and they checked and we were told that our fuel has been adulterated, let me say that. Is it the right way of testing? Yes, we need to test the fuel. However, I would say there are very good technologies out there on how you can be able to test fuel. And please, especially you and all your guys from the outlets, come, we are here. We have very good solutions for you. We have like the DMA X Petrol where you can be able to test the density of various fuels. So you know the density of, say, diesel, and once you test it and it is above the density, then you do know that it has been adulterated. Handheld gadgets that can be used across the petrol station. So of course we do supply such kind of equipment, and also the kind that are used in the lab by the regulators and other major fuel companies like Vivo and the rest, and of course also KEBS, you know, how they're able to do distillation units and the rest so that they're able to tell different fuels. So yes, it is good for us to test because that exposes us to, which is the corrupt ways in which that are happening in the fuel industry, but we are here to offer these solutions.
So, my first job was as a pump attendant. And so what used to happen is, when a truck came in, you would go up and you take the density.
Yes.
So you just dip into the fuel, take the density and drop something and see whether it's okay, whether it has water and things like that. Are those the type of equipments you're still using, or do you have something better for petrol station?
This is that time when I wish I had that gadget to like just show you, you know. But yes, of course, that was what was being done back then. Of course, over time, technology improvement and the rest, things have gotten better. We have automatic ones. I know, I guess you're talking about the glass one that
yes, the glass, yes, that looks like a test tube.
Yes, that looked like a test tube. Yes, that is what was being used before. And a couple of places, they still use that. But technology has improved over time. Now we have automated ones. And the beauty of that is the fact that, you know, they get the values right and perfectly well. So yes, now we have much more advanced instruments. Yes.
I'm still going to take you back to how you think about petrol stations.
Yes.
So we have a situation where the farther you are from Nairobi, the harder it is to know the quality of the fuel that you're using. I remember one time, long time ago in Masai Mara, and Seb is going to Masai Mara tomorrow to see our country, so we are very happy. Come on, give it up for Seb. He'll be going to Masai Mara tomorrow. But the point is, there was only one pump somewhere in Masai Mara, and the guy would tell you, this diesel is mixed with kerosene. Yeah, and that's what we have. So you choose the Lions or this diesel with kerosene.
I don't know what you chose.
And people knew, like when you go into the field, when you go there, you take any fuel that is available. So how do you help? Of course, we have evolved from that point.
Yes.
How do you think about ensuring quality, especially as you move further away from the center?
You see, this is why we need gadgets that are, let me say, handheld. Things that you can just carry into the field and you're able to just run the test very, very easily. That is one of the ways in which we as Estec have come in to help bridge this gap. Using one of our partners from Austria, Anton Parr, we are able to supply such kind of gadgets. And these are gadgets that can be used everywhere. Mpaka mashinani.
Are they affordable?
Yes, they are very, very, very affordable. With this equipment, once the fuel actually comes to the pump, I know once it is loaded in the trucks, it will be transported from here to Kisumu, it will be taken to other parts, and even as you're saying, to a normal, let me say Ushago, or, Mashinani petrol station. Once that fuel gets there, you're actually able to just check and see if it has met the quality. Handheld, simple, you can carry it to the field, you can go around. Even petrol stations can even come together and choose to buy one gadget, and you can be able, if it's a group of the outlets, and they're able to just run these tests. And yes, that is why we want to have such easy and affordable ways and instruments, equipments that can be used to test, just to ensure that even everywhere, mpaka huko Masai Mara, the kind of fuel that they get there, hautaambiwa ni iko na diesel ama paraffin, and you have to choose. And of course, we cannot choose the Lions, But as Kenya, and also the fact that we're leading in East Africa, it's very critical for us to be in the forefront of ensuring that our fuel and the petroleum and the diesel and even that kerosene that is being used has met the quality and standards, both local and international.
So last year, we experienced floods in Kenya.
Yeah.
And what happened is the forecourts were flooded. And people didn't know whether there was water seeping in their tanks. How does your solution help in identifying whether water has seeped into the product, and what do you do with that information when you have it?
Okay, so our products are able to tell you if there is any kind of impurity, not just water, any kind of impurity. Because you see, every single petroleum product has particular properties. So if it's in terms of density, the density of diesel, the density of petroleum, of petrol itself, they are all different. Okay, so if the density is, say, 0.85, and you test it and it goes something like 0.80, then that definitely means that it has an impurity in it. So the beauty of our product is that it is able to do that. It can just tell you. So in the field place where you're at, and maybe you're carrying like the DMA, you would just be able to tell if it has an impurity. But if you're able to carry that sample into a lab, you can be able now to use much more sophisticated instruments. And these instruments still that we're able to provide can be able to tell you exactly what that impurity is. The first one would be where you detect that there is an impurity, and then the next thing would be in a space where now you are able to tell exactly which impurity it is. And you're able to provide solutions and equipments that are able to solve that all across. So yes, that is very possible.
Wonderful. And probably one last question.
Yes, please.
I know you are not ready for this kind of a fireside chat.
I thought you just wanted me to say how the expo was like.
No, but it's important because it's more
Yes,
organic,
yes.
and people can actually hear what you're saying. And I'll allow the audience to ask a question or two. But we have 4,800 stations in the country.
Yeah.
And they are supported by 6 depots. So, and Kenya is a big country, 644 square kilometers. So fuel has to move over a very long distance. So it is exposed to the elements and things like that, and you have different people handling the product at different stage. How do you think technology, whether it's here now or you guys are considering, can help involve not just the people in the supply chain, but also help the consumer to know and to be aware that the kind of fuel I have is okay, just beyond the name of the brand saying that trust our fuel?
Okay, so when it comes to fuel, of course, I like the fact that you've talked about even transportation, because there are other things that are tested in fuel, such as the flash point, which is the temperature at which, fuel can tawaka, tukue na moto, And the thing that I can tell you is, first and foremost, once the fuel comes in, it comes in as crude, right? So we have the part of the refineries. The refineries use this particular equipment to be able also to just do the distillation, because from the process, different petroleum products have a different distillation boiling point, right? So that's the first phase. The first phase is that when they're doing that. Then when it comes to the major depots that we have, the main suppliers, before now it goes out, there are other tests that are run there. Even things such as temperature being both high temperatures and low temperatures. So you will see that fuels like jet fuels and the rest, they even check temperatures like cold properties, for example. So we have those kinds of tests that are also run by the major suppliers now who supply to the 40,000 depots, right?
Yeah.
So there is that particular test. And then now there is the final test, where the product has been done through all these particular tests, and now it has been supplied to the various depots, and now we do other tests there to confirm. One thing that I can tell you is that as a nation, and of course also with the regulatories in place, these are the kind of tests that are usually run. And I'm telling you this because these major suppliers and even our regulatory, like KEBS for example, they are our clients.
Oh, wow.
We do know that they do have these instruments.
Wonderful.
And that they are using them. You go to KPC for example, they have our instruments. We know that these kind of tests are being run.
Okay.
So one thing that I can tell Kenyans is that yes, as a nation, we are doing it. Our intention is of course to become better, and that's why we want to be part of this, because our vision as an organization is to have a safe and healthy Africa, and one of those fields is the petroleum field. As a nation, we are doing it. I can say that for sure. We are. I can say that from where I stand, because I know that these guys have it. I can say that. But of course, we always want to get better, and technology is improving. Even in the discussions that we've had here, we've heard about so many other things that are evolving and moving. One thing that we need to do as a nation is to move with the changes. As things are changing, as new technologies are coming in, we embrace it. Even AI, our equipments have that. They're embracing even AI and machine learning, so as to make these tests better and more efficient.
And finally, I like the fact that you've said your vision is to provide a safe environment and fueling environment for Africa. The AfriFueling Expo is going to be going around East Africa, so that means you're coming to us to Kampala, you're coming to us to Dar es Salaam and the other places. Is that not true?
So Estec Limited is a Kenyan company. This year we've actually celebrated our 45th anniversary. We've been around since 1980. It's a Kenyan company, but we operate in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
So we are starting from the households and expanding. Because once Kenya is safe, Uganda is safe, Tanzania is safe, and the rest. So yes, I want to believe that I will be seeing you there, yes. And we are not just in the fuel industry, we are in every other industry. Academic, when it comes to food and beverages, we have solutions that ensure that the food that you are eating is good. When it comes to pharmaceutical, the kind of drugs that we are using, we have solutions for that. And most of the major pharmaceutical industries, they are our clients. So our drugs are being tested. When it comes to academic and research, the universities and the rest, we are also providing them instruments in that side. When it comes to water and environment, we want to make sure that you're not polluting the environment. The kind of water that you're taking is right. Estec, you're going to find it right there. When it comes to beverage, both soft and hard, let me say that, we are still there because we want to make sure that our nation is getting safe and quality products.
Wonderful. Can you give it up for Gasheri?
Thank you.
Let me see if we have a question. You guys are not clapping because you're on your phones. Just clap for her. I think she's done an amazing job. Now, do we have a question for her before she sits? Yeah, we do have one question over there.
Good morning.
Morning.
On the rising of temperature of fuel, should it be tested on every level? Maybe at the consumer, or not consumer at the petrol station, or also at the distribution, and is the owner, the person who was bought it, let's say the person who runs the petrol station, or also liable to test it, or is it only a reputable, maybe farm like Estec? Thank you.
Okay, first and foremost, I'd like, you've finished your question by saying, or is it reputable farms like Estec? I'd like you to know that as Estec, we don't do the tests ourselves. What we do is that we...
And I'll allow the audience to ask a question or two. But we have 4,800 stations in the country.
Yeah.
And they are supported by 6 depots. So, and Kenya is a big country, 644 square kilometers. So fuel has to move over a very long distance.
Yeah.
So it is exposed to the elements and things like that, and you have different people handling the product at different stage. How do you think technology, whether it's here now or you guys are considering, can help involve not just the people in the supply chain, but also help the consumer to know and to be aware that the kind of fuel I have is okay, just beyond the name of the brand saying that trust our fuel?
Okay, so when it comes to fuel, of course, I like the fact that you've talked about even transportation, because there are other things that are tested in fuel, such as the flash point, which is the temperature at which, fuel can tawaka, tukue na moto, And the thing that I can tell you is, first and foremost, once the fuel comes in, it comes in as crude, right? So we have the part of the refineries. The refineries use these particular equipment to be able also to just do the distillation, because from the process, different petroleum products have a different distillation element, right?